Well, hello. Mr. Lopazzo here. We're going to do another drawing together. We're going to draw Garfield, the cat. Garfield's about 40-something years old, maybe 40, 42 years old. Most famous for the comic strip that would be in newspapers every Sunday. And he is a big, chubby, lazy cat who likes to eat, sleep, and he's very sarcastic. He's always making little sarcastic jokes and comments about people and his owner in the world. And you can see he's just got this smug look on his face. So, piece of paper, pencil, eraser. Turn your paper vertical. And we're going to draw our Garfield together. We're going to start out with a basic shape, a circle. You're going to want to draw it very, very lightly because you're going to be erasing about 50% of that circle because we have to put stuff on top of it. I would say your circle's going to be very big because really we're just doing his head, his ears, and a little bit of his body, not much. So you can go pretty wide with that circle. And you're going to want to put the circle a little bit higher than halfway on your paper because we've got his arms crossed and just a teeny bit of his body there. So I'm not going to draw lightly, but you are. I'm going to draw a nice big circle. My circle's a little lopsided, but that's okay. I think we'll be okay. Blah. Circle, egg, whatever. And it's not centered either. Whatever. Close enough, you know what I'm saying? It's close enough. Draw lightly. His eyes are really, really big. Now, I've said this with some of the videos and not with others, but I'll say it for this one. Might be a good idea to maybe print out a picture of Garfield. You'll find that pose probably pretty easily. Or you just, if you have another device, a phone or whatever, you can just kind of prop it as you're watching this video. You could prop it next to your iPad. Obviously, you can do what I'm doing, and you can sort of see those pictures over there, but it might be nice, you know, because I'm going to keep referring to this because I've never drawn Garfield before. You might want to have a picture like I do, so you can kind of look at yours, mine, and I think his name is Jim Davis, who drew Garfield. Might be a little bit easier. So his eye is a big old oval, and I'm going to put it dead center, right in the middle of my circle. And it's pretty close to the top of my circle. Actually, I'm going to make mine a little bit wider. I think that'll work. It's a donut. Or an alien's eye or something. Next eye is going to be right next to it, but we've got a little overlapping going on. So the next eye I'm going to do is behind the one I just drew. Pretty much the same size. Top and bottom, it's just in back. Obviously, pause it, rewind it. I've told you that a million times, but it bears repeating. I'm going to go pretty quick, so because this is actually a pretty complicated drawing, got a lot of stuff to draw, so I don't want to make it a 40-minute video, so I'm going to go pretty quick. Now I'm going to, his eyelids are very low, which they often are. He's always squinting at people because he's very annoyed all the time. So I'm going to draw a line that actually goes across both eyes with a slight curve to it. And his pupils I'm going to color mine in. You obviously are not because you have a pencil. But it helps to see them a little bit better if we color them in. His nose is a very small oval that's right between his eyes. Right, it's going to be right about there, and I'm going to have to erase part of that eye that's going through it. I don't want anything to go through my eye. And now his smile or smirk, whatever you want to call it, starts at the nose. And I'm going to start right about at the nose, and I'm going to go down, curl around, and then come up kind of where your eyelid is. That's about where you're going to stop. And then he's got this little cheek kind of right around the end of it. And there's a little bump there. And he's got these 3 little whiskers, I guess, where his whiskers would be. And then the one on the other side is going to start pretty much where the first one did. This one's going to be bigger. Out further. I'm going to swoop up. And that one's also going to finish pretty much where the eyelid is. But you can see this one. Remember, we can see his head is turned a little bit. So we can see this side of the face more, which is why that line's coming out further. This is what we call foreshortened. If I put my arm this way, you can see the whole length of it. If I put it this way, it's called foreshortened. It looks shorter, but it's not. It's just pointing straight at you. So I'm going to do, got the big cheek on this side too. That little bump, that little line right there. And then 3 little whiskers. Boom, boom, boom. You can already see he's already got that look on his face. And it looks like Garfield already. Our ears, I'm going to start right about between the eyes on the ear that's on the left. And that ear is going to end right about there. I'm going to go up outside the head, and it's basically just a big triangle. Up. And then down to there. Then he's got this little bump coming from his ear over to the head. Not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. And then I can see the side of the ear a little bit. I'm going to start up here and come over. Does it go inside the head? It does not. So now what I'm going to need to do, I'm going to need to erase not this line. You're going to keep that line. Actually, no, you're not. I lied. We are erasing this line. And we're also going to erase this line. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. Now the other ear is going to be a little bit skinnier. It's going to start where this one did, except it's going to go out on an angle a little bit. And then it's going to come down to the side of the eye. And I'm also going to do this little piece that I did here, right over here, start at the top of the ear, come down, and it's going to touch the other ear. It's not going to go all the way down to the eye. It's going to touch the other ear. And then I've got 2 lines to erase. This one. That, remember I told you to draw your circle lightly because we're erasing a lot of it. Now he's got these little lines inside his ear. So what they did was they made just the tip of the top of the ear black. Now you don't have to color it in yet, but you are going to want to draw the line. So you're going to want to draw this line right there at the top. That. I'm going to color mine in. You will eventually. And then they've got like 4 lines, just details. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a little fur, I guess. I don't know what you call it. Now his whiskers, which are weird because I guess they're not whiskers. They're coming out of the top of his head right about here. I mean, they look like whiskers to me, but they're in the wrong place to be whiskers. Once again, I will color mine in. You will do that another time. And then we've got 3 on the other side. They kind of look like big raindrops. They're kind of wide on the outside and skinnier where they connect to the head. Small on the inside, a little wider, and they're round. Just some small details. Okay, we're going to do his arms. We're going to do his arms. So I'm going to start right about in the middle of his head, right about where that circle is. We're going to be erasing that in a second, but right where that circle is. I'm going to come down a little bit, and then I'm going to curve around. It's not very pointy. Round it, curve it around, and then close to the head, but not touching it, I'm going to be drawing his arm that comes up. So down, up, following like the curve of the head, and then right about when you get even with his cheek, almost actually the side of the head, you're just going to curve around and go down a little bit. So down, up, and down. Okay? Before I do the rest of this arm, I'm going to do his hand. He's kind of like, his arms are crossed, except his fingers, he's going like this. So you can see his fingers on top of the other arm. So these fingers are from the other arm. Okay? I'm going to draw, it's going to start on the arm, up, around, and right down where that first line was. See that? That's finger 1. I'm going to erase this part of the head. So there's finger 1 that's coming up from behind this arm. I'm going to do another finger on top of that, peeking from behind, and then another one, peeking from behind, like 3 little rocks, one behind the other. And there's a small little detail, I guess it's like his chin coming out of the finger. That's got nothing to do with the arms. That's from like just a fat roll or something on his neck. I told you he was chubby. I'm going to do the other side of his arm. So I'm going to come right over here, kind of where the head is, and I'm going to go down. That's his elbow. And I'm going to follow this line that went up. It's going to get a little thinner as we go, just because his arm's going to get thinner. Stop right about there. Bless me. And now, I'm not going to start at the end of this line right here. I'm going to come down just a teeny bit. And I'm going to go sideways, like that. And I'm going to come up and connect to my arm right there. Or you can go down. I know it looks like somebody cut his paw off, but you'll see. Our arms are crisscrossed and we're not done yet. So now I'm going to come up almost to the top of this arm right here. And I'm going to make a line that goes down. This is his other elbow, right? Elbow, elbow. And it's going to come up and go right into this arm. Right, so now you can see it's like this. So now you can see that arm is tucked in, so we can only see one paw. Underneath there, then you can make him as big as he wants, but he's a chubby cat. So I'm just going to make a little bit of his body come down like that. His big belly. Looks familiar. I'm going to hop over to this side, just past the arm. Little bump for his body, looks like a snowman. And then his big caboose. Wow. He eats too much. I'm telling you. Now with Garfield, we have these little patterns. See all these little patterns right here? They're like all these little lines. So we're going to draw those. This side, they're kind of close together. But see, they're all little lines that don't touch each other. Almost like the Wi-Fi. Look, it's a Wi-Fi signal. They start out wide and they get smaller. It's like a triangle, but they don't touch. Right? So we've got a lot of those. I've got one right here. 1, 2, 3, I guess about 5 of them. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got one right here in this caboose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got one right here on his cheek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I have to erase? I do have to erase something. See this line right here? We want to get rid of that going through his arm. Just like that. And this line right here, this isn't the Wi-Fi signal. This is the head coming down. That's our original circle. I'm going to erase a little. I don't want to erase the arm. Oh, there's a little detail right here too. But I'm going to erase a little of that. So now it looks like the head and body are connected. Okay, so I erased a little of the head there, and I just added this little L. It's like a little fat roll on his arm. And then I'm going to come up in the middle here. I've got another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got one more right by his whiskers, or whatever you want to call those things up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to hop over the other side. These can touch or not touch. In the picture, they're touching. But I've got one right down here, just to the right of his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got one right here. Not a lot of room there. You might have to put them close together. And then one more right up there to match the ones on the other side. And we don't have any down here, nothing there. This is all open. Ta-da! There's our Garfield. That wasn't too bad. Now, if you're not printing out or bringing up a picture of Garfield, he is orange. Inside, the whites of his eyes are white. Right? Makes sense. And then you can see right above the mouth, to those 3 dots, is yellow. Also on the other side, it's yellow. His nose is pink. And I would definitely outline this with a marker, Sharpie something. And then you are going to color some things in black, the pupils, like we talked about, the whiskers up here, and that little tip on top of each one of the ears, which I already colored in as I was doing it, but you had pencil. So week 1, draw your Garfield, and then put it to the side. You are done for the week. And then the second art class that you have, whether it's the following week or not, the next art class, you will color him in. You can color Garfield in like this. You can color him however you want. If you want to put a background behind him, you know, maybe look up Garfield comic strip, and maybe there's a background that you like, you know, where he's sitting at the kitchen table making fun of his owner and the owner's dog. Or not. I can't wait to see him. So when you're done, make sure you send me a pic. Okay, excellent. We are all done. Garfield looks good. I will see you guys later.